After nearly 1.5 years, it's finally time to take online classes back offline in as many as 5 states and 2 union territories. Schools are resuming classes for classes 9 to 12 in the national capital. As far as the SOPs are concerned, remember they're laid down by the Delhi Disaster Management Authority. Schools will only be allowed to have a maximum of 50% students in a classroom at a time. Moreover, only vaccinated teaching and non-teaching staff will be allowed to enter the school campus. And also consent form from parents will be a must for every student who's attending these classes. Schools have also been reopened in other states like Uttar Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Madhya Pradesh, Haryana, Rajasthan and Puducherry. However, many health experts have warned against the reopening of schools. They say that following COVID-appropriate behavior is tough for children. They've also warned that kids are not vaccinated and vaccinated adults can also still be carrying the virus.
उत्साह तो है लेकिन इतना अच्छा भी नहीं है क्योंकि कोविड-19 इतना दिन पर दिन बढ़ रहा है अभी, लेकिन स्कूल खोल दिया है लेकिन वही प्रिकॉशन के साथ खोलना चाहिए.
Though it is an experimentally we are trying, this is worth doing. Considering the possibility of the spread and the risk, it is the risk is quite negligible at this moment, unless something very catastrophic events taking place. Otherwise, I think it is a safe move because this is quite a long time. The schools are closed, so it is the right time. The government should come forward and take the calculated risk and open the school in an appropriate way. But the strict protocol maintenance should be ensured.
So today, several states and union territories have opened schools for students after, of course, nearly 1.5 years of being shut due to the pandemic. Let's list out for you exactly how students will be returning back to their classrooms in several states and how it's going to be happening in a phased manner. Here's a look at all the states that are reopening now. In Delhi, from classes 9 to 12, you'll have students back in classrooms starting today, of course, with a slew of guidelines in place. Now, besides that, also in Haryana, class 4 and 5, you'll be seeing students returning. Haryana already had opened up earlier their schools, and in a staggered way, they're ensuring more students can get back to their schools. What about Uttar Pradesh? Classes 9 to 12 in the state of Uttar Pradesh, students will be back in classrooms. Besides that, several other states also taking the move from today. In Tamil Nadu, you're going to be seeing classes 9 to 12 students back in classrooms, of course, again, with a number of guidelines in place to ensure COVID-appropriate behavior. Madhya Pradesh also, the Shivraj Singh Chauhan government has decided to open up schools in a staggered way from classes 9 to 12. You will see classes resuming their physical classes in schools. Rajasthan too has taken the decision that from today, classes 9 to 12 students will be allowed back in classrooms. And then you also have Puducherry. Again, the same norm where classes 9 to 12 students will be back. In all of the states and union territories, you're going to be seeing slowly more of the students returning, more classes also being conducted as the days progress. Let me take this across to our reporters on the ground. We've got Milind Sharma joining us live from Delhi. We also have Devankur joining us live from Jaipur. Besides that, several other reporters also that will take this across to Akshay Nath joining us live from Chennai. Let me take this across first to Milind Sharma. Milind, good morning. In Delhi, the much-awaited decision has been taken of reopening schools. Take us through really what's the mood on the ground, and also if you could just sum up for us the guidelines in place.
Well, Akshita, in Delhi, we're witnessing a heavy rainfall today as well as yesterday. Yet students have arrived in Delhi government schools where they have come to attend the classes for higher sections from 9th grade onwards. I would also like to speak to a few students quickly. बहुत टाइम बाद आप लोग फिर से स्कूल आए हैं. क्या अभी मन में है? कोविड-19 अभी भी चल रहा है. कैसे सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग के गाइडलाइंस आपको बोले हैं फॉलो करने के लिए?
यस मैम, बोला है हमारी टीचर ने पहले अपना लंच बॉक्स खुद लाना है, वाटर बोतल खुद लानी है और सबसे सोशल डिस्टेंस बना के रखना है और एक दूसरे का लंच शेयर भी नहीं करना और मैम सैनिटाइज़र अपना यूज़ करना है. जैसे खाना खाएं तब हर आधे घंटे में सैनिटाइज़र करना अपने हाथ को और मैम सबसे ज़्यादा अपने आप में ही रहना है।
कितने टाइम बाद आप लोग स्कूल आ रहे हैं, तो पढ़ाई में आपको लगता है कि अभी ज़्यादा बेहतर रहेगा स्कूल में आके टीचर के सामने पढ़ना?
यस मैम, जैसे कि आप जानते हैं कि ऑनलाइन क्लासेस में इतना समझ नहीं आता है और फ़ोन की भी बहुत सारी प्रॉब्लम्स होती हैं, तो हमें ऐसा लगता है कि स्कूल आके ज़्यादा अच्छे से हम पढ़ पाएंगे।
And definitely, you know, for children who have been on the phones throughout the year, this is a welcome move because a lot of them have come. This is the principal ma'am also here. Ma'am, what are the guidelines that are being followed currently in the government school?
Ma'am, on the gate only, the guard is getting the hand sanitized, and we have the thermal screening provision near the gate only, and then they'll enter and they'll go to their classes. I've called 6 sections today, 3 of class 9 and 3 of class 10. They will be sitting in the staggering method, and 15 students will be sitting in one classroom. And I have made the provisions for the lunch timings also differently for all the sections.
Staggered timings for lunch.
Staggered timings for lunch as well. And moreover, we have made a isolation bed facility also. There's an isolation room. If suppose somebody gets ill, then we'll take her to that bed. And if the situation is not under the control, we will take her to the dispensary, which is a polyclinic near Mayur. We are phase 3 only.
So all these your guidelines are being followed in the government schools. Children have come wearing raincoats as well, because I told you it's been raining in Delhi since morning. And that is the kind of enthusiasm in the eyes and minds of children who are making their way to schools as they open in Delhi. And certainly, as you heard from the principal itself, all social distancing guidelines will be done. In the morning, let me tell you just briefly, the virtual prayer was done. Usually we see children doing prayers together, but this was virtual, and these are the changes that have been brought in schools in Delhi.
Let me get a sense of what things are going to look like in Chennai for students who are returning back to their classrooms after so long. Akshaya, good morning. I see that you're standing in front of a school. You know, there's a concern for people of Tamil Nadu. Considering the case count in neighbouring Kerala, there's been a worry about whether this is the right time to really reopen schools in the state. But the government has made it very clear that they've put forth enough guidelines to ensure the safety of kids.
Well, good morning, Akshita. It is a very cloudy, pleasant morning in Chennai city, and we're seeing that today children will be returning to schools. Most of the schools here begin at 9 a.m. and the guideline which has been given by the state government is that no classes should exceed the time of 3:30. And we've been informed by most of the schools that 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Is what the technical timing that they're giving most of the students to ensure that, you know, they're safe and there's only little exposure that they have within the school premises. And if I can ask my camera person Daniel to show you, behind me is the headmistress's room, and here there are already stickers which have been placed about social distancing, thermal scanning, and also guidelines which need to be followed by children. And these are the measures that they have taken initially. And similarly, there are multiple camps which have been put inside the school premises itself, because the school is yet to open. We don't have any staff members or school students whom we can talk to, but the initial information that we've been given here is that all the necessary protocol measures have already been put into place, and only limited number of students will be coming in. The state's education minister had informed that only 20 children will be in a classroom, and that too the seating arrangement will be in such a manner where enough distancing between the two children will be also maintained. Similarly, the state education minister and the health department has set out a list of guidelines which include that all the teachers and students should be vaccinated, and special camps for initiating this has also been put into place, Akshita.
All right, let me take this across now to Abhishek Mishra. He's joining us live from Lucknow. Abhishek, good morning. Take us through what are the rules in place, in Uttar Pradesh. We understand that schools will be opening up a lot more in the state. There's a worry also among parents, I'm being told.
Well, absolutely, Akshita. It's the third phase of reopening of the schools in Uttar Pradesh. First, class 9 to 12, then from 23rd of August, 6th to 8th, and now 1st to 5th from today itself. I do have some of the parents, and they have some of the concerns over the fact that whether their child is safe or not, or whether the COVID protocols would be, followed properly or not. Ma'am, आपको क्या लग रहा है? What are you thinking about the kind of situation we are in right now?
एक्चुअली क्या है, बच्चे आ तो रहे हैं बट पेरेंट्स के लिए बहुत बड़ा रिस्क है ये कि हमारे बच्चे भी जा रहे हैं, क्या सिचुएशन हो जाए। इन केस किसी बच्चे को भी अगर ऐसा हो जाता है तो रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी किसकी होगी?
क्या डर है आपके मन में? आपको क्या लग रहा है कि क्या कंसर्न है इस समय?
मैम सर डर तो है ही है, क्योंकि बच्चे को भेज रहे हैं, अब ऑनलाइन क्लास भी नहीं चल रहा है। ऑनलाइन क्लास चलता तो बच्चों नहीं भेजते हैं, ऑनलाइन क्लास नहीं चल रहा है तो भेज रहे हैं।
आपको क्या लग रहा है कि ये सही समय था बच्चों को बुलाने का स्कूल में?
सही समय नहीं था। मैंने प्रिंसिपल मैम से बात भी की थी। मैं चाह रहा था कि अभी ये ना खुले, दिवाली के बाद खुले, क्योंकि अभी तक वैक्सीन बच्चों की नहीं लगी। मेरी डॉटर 2nd क्लास में पढ़ती है, वो बहुत छोटी है। बहुत डर है क्योंकि वैक्सीन अभी बच्चों की नहीं आई है। कौन रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी लेगा अगर किसी का कुछ हो जाए?
सरकार तो कह रही है कि जल्द वैक्सीन भी आ जाएगी, सबको लग रहा है, माहौल भी अब ठीक हो गया, केसेस एकदम कम हो गए यूपी में। तो
नहीं, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, मगर ये सब लोग सिर्फ कमाने का तरीका है और कुछ नहीं। बच्चों
क्या दिक्कत आ रही है आपको?
भाई जैसे अभी तक पूरी फीस ले रहे हैं, 1 महीने की फीस नहीं जमा है, बच्चा नहीं आ पाएगा, ना ऑनलाइन क्लास कर पाएगा।
You can hardly you hear the voices, Akshita. They're saying that they're still concerned with the fact that whether it is right time or not. Although the cases are declining in UP, but a major threat for all these parents is about the possibility of the third wave, and the kind of there is no much buzz about the fact that whether they will be getting vaccine and from when. And also there are some parents who are saying that the fees should be reconsidered, and most of the schools have.
Yes.
But here it's not, and that's the reason that they think that it was not the right time to call the students in.
A sentiment echoed by many parents really at this point, even as there's a huge debate over whether this is the right time or not. Dev Ankur is joining us live from Jaipur, Rajasthan too. Schools are opening up today. Dev, good morning. What's the situation there? We know that for students to attend classes, they need consent forms from parents. Does that mean that students have the option to choose between online and offline?
Good morning. That is right. The parents have been given forms to fill up where they can actually mention whether they want their children to be sent to schools or not. The Ashok Gehlot government has laid out detailed guidelines, including 50% of students will be allowed. Apart from that, the teaching staff, at least the first dose of COVID vaccine has to be ensured of the entire school teaching staff before the schools are allowed to resume the entire teaching process. I'm right now one of the prominent schools in Jaipur. This is the Subodh school, and you can see behind me the trickling in of students that is happening currently. The camera person can show you how the students are coming one after the other. Thermal scanning, temperature gauging, and apart from that, sanitizing of hands. All of these are detailed SOPs that have been laid out by the school itself. The principal of the school, Kamaljeet Yadav, is with me right now. Ma'am, these are tentative steps that are being taken towards, resuming normalcy completely. But is the school administration tentative, and is there some kind of apprehension as to what can happen?
See, we are taking all guidelines of COVID-19, yet we cannot right now predict. But at the same time, some normalcy has to be brought in the lives of all of us. These children, of course, they are awaiting for the vaccine. The moment the vaccine comes, yet to be seen, and how it will be impacting the students.
Absolutely. The vaccine for children is yet to come, but in Rajasthan, Akshita, the opening of schools has been allowed from students from classes 9 till 12th. For classes 1st to 8th, online coaching will continue. I do have some students who are from classes 11 to 12th. Kya lag raha hai? Is there a sense of apprehension, or are you happy that you have returned to school?
We are happy to return to school.
So you think the resuming of classes is the right step, and gradually complete normalcy can be restored?
Yes.
You are from which class? What is your name?
12th. Neha Gehlot.
Are you happy that you're back to school, or do you think it should have been staggered? It could have been delayed a bit more?
No, sir. I'm very happy. It should be done right now.
Okay, so you're happy. So largely the sentiment is that, Akshita, the students are happy that classes are resumed, but these are staggered steps that are being taken by the government and school administration towards trying to ensure that complete normalcy is restored.
Okay.
But there is a sense of apprehension also that, God forbid, if some cases come up, then how will the school administration control the situation?
Let's see what really happens. Schools reopening today with a lot of guidelines, a lot of restrictions in place to ensure the safety of children as well. For the moment, Dev, Abhishek, Milind and Akshaya, thank you very much for joining us on First Up with those live reports.